get a book reviewed. Lied to him. Never looked in the emails, hundreds of emails with all of his advice. None of it. So the government took that, didn't care. We won the malpractice case, went back to the government, said, hey, will you relook at this? Right? This proves I've got a winning malpractice case that proves I relied on counsel to publish this book without a government review. And if this is the only thing they got me on is I failed to seek pre-public review, then he told me look, here it is. He's culpable in that decision making. Government was like, we're not opening it up again. So wouldn't touch it. So then I went back to them and I said, okay, I can't pay you $1.5 million in 3 years. Will you give me a payment plan? So they disappeared. They wanted all my tax returns. I sent in a whole bunch of junk. They came back a couple months later and said, okay, this is just this last January. I said, okay, give us all the money that you made from your malpractice, and then we'll put you on a payment plan. So $3,800 a month for the next 15 years.
Shit.
Right, I only served for 14. There's no way I made over $1.5 million in my service. So I'll pay back more money for longer than I ever served. They went through my computers. They deleted every photo from my career. Gave me back a computer with no photos on it. Basically zeroized my whole career. That is when, right? And I've been in some dark spots through this, right? That's why I said my faith, my journey of faith has been much more locked in when I was in the fight with friends and people and whatever. And it was like, I understood, hey, SEAL shit's going to be hard, and I never expected the civilian world to be this hard and to hit me this way. And I got freaking jumped, and I was not ready for it. I didn't have a community around me to help me. I was alone and in a dark spot, right? I went to the VA, right? Bad neck and back issues. All through this time, I'm going to the VA for my medical care, right? The DOJ's fucking me, trying to kill me. And I go to the VA. I'm like, hey, man, I can't drink a beer without my arms going numb. Pain meds. Never even got an MRI in a year and a half.
Holy shit, dude.
Right? My final trip to the VA, I came back with a bag of pain meds, no MRI. My parents were in town visiting. I remember showing my parents the pain meds, and my mom just broke down. She's like, what the heck? So here I am, right? Getting no help from the VA. And I don't know if it's because they said, hey, don't help this guy. Fuck him. I have no idea. I just know I was getting no help at my only medical help that was there right? I'd pay for my own insurance, right? I served, so I get my VA, and the VA's doing nothing for me. So yeah, I met a neck and back surgeon in California, former Air Force guy, Dr. Robert Bray, Disc Surgery Center, former Air Force trained surgeon that started his own practice. I met him, and he's like, Biss, come on out. He gave me x-rays and MRI, and I met him in an hour and a half. He's like, listen, man, you need to clear your schedule. Your neck's basically broken. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, your C4 and 5 are like 8 millimeters offset. And if you hit a speed bump the wrong way, you're never walking again.
Ooh.
He's like, clear your schedule. A week later, he operated on me. Fusion. He's done 5 surgeries, hasn't charged me a penny. I'd still be going to the VA for help.
That's a hell of a dude.
Yep. He operated on the guy who held me in on the helicopter on the crash, right? He's probably 8 other of my friends now he's operated on.
No shit.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Dr. Robert Bray.
What a fucking badass. That's awesome, man.
Yep.
All right, Matt, we're back from the break. So it sounds like it's not just one investigation. There's a second investigation coming. So how does this happen?
Right. The first one went 3 years. That was over no easy day. That was getting that money back. Okay. That finished. I started suing my attorney. And while I'm suing my attorney, one of the days we're doing our stuff with him, I get a call from my ex-wife, and she's like, hey, some FBI agents just showed up at the front door as the kids are leaving for school. Real good. Real nice. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, they confiscated your old computer we had when you were in. I'm like, okay, what? They'd say what? And they're like, yeah, something about your gear consulting work you did when you were in. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, okay, up starts another investigation.
Gear consulting?
Gear and equipment. Okay, so this new investigation is out of the Department of Justice Norfolk field office, not the Department of Justice San Diego field office that we'd been dealing with for 3 years. Right? This was all new. Oh, surprise, surprise. Now they're pissed at gear consulting I did when I was in. Right? I was always a gear guy. I mentioned that earlier. I love my gear development stuff, and I was very involved in that. Actually, my former commander that ultimately said delete me, first name Wyman, last name rhymes with coward. Wyman Coward came by one day and he's like, hey, you're really good at this gear stuff. You ought to go talk to the JAGs, get some approval so you can do it the right way. But, a lot of your designs have some good cross. Maybe you designed this flashlight, the Marines can buy it, whatever. So, okay, I went to our JAG at the command, got approvals to do consulting for companies on the outside, shoes, hats, guns, whatever, just any of the stuff I was into. Outside of work, the very little time I had at home that was outside of work, and it was approved by the command. So here we are. I hadn't done any gear consulting for years. I've been out of the Navy, and now all of a sudden I find out they're coming after me for gear consulting. So, okay, it's the whole spin up again. Now, instead of the 12-hour interrogations in San Diego, 12-hour interrogation in Norfolk. New set of assholes. Run me through the rigor. Oh, you did all these things. You broke the law, whatever. You need a plea to a misdemeanor. I'm like, a misdemeanor for what? Like, prove any of this you're throwing at me. Prove that I made money off any of my designs through, I'm not the purchasing agent. I can't affect anything that I design. I can't buy. We have contracting departments, so there's no conflict of interest there. But they're like, oh no, you made money off this stuff. We're coming after you. So for another year, they came after me. They kept trying to throw anything at me to get me to, they were like, if you don't plead to a misdemeanor, we're going to try and push a felony. I'm like, where? What? How? So about a week before they're trying to pressure me, I go to the SHOT Show in Vegas, and the press hits, and all across the press said Matt Bissonette retained photos of bin Laden. I had photos of bin Laden. I told them about it in all of my interrogation stuff. Nobody knew that but the government. So then the government leaks that the same week that they're trying to pressure me into taking a misdemeanor, because they wanted so bad to get me on something. And I just kept saying, fuck you, prove it. Now, granted, I have to pay legal bills to get that to work. So that's when I'd written my second book. I'm out of money from the first one, right? I'd given all that back. I'd written No Hero. I'm using that money to continue to pay my legal defense. This goes on for a year. After a year, they're finally like, okay, you didn't do anything criminal. Just give us all the money back you ever made. So it became a financial shakedown. So I wrote them a big check, and they went away. That was the last I heard from them. And then I've just been dealing with trying to get to the financial closure of paying them back for No Easy Day. That is why I wrote No Easy Way. Now what's crazy about that, right? I submitted that book for review. That book has been into the government for 6 months.
So what is that book? What is that book about?
Everything we're talking about right now.
So you have to get,
This all takes place since I'm a civilian writing this whole book, but I have to get it reviewed based off the agreements that I've signed. Now, the guy with the eye patch doesn't, and he just blows it off, but I have to, because they came after me for the first one. So I'm going to submit this one for review. But now they've sat on it for 6 months and they don't want it to get out, right? They don't want my version, this story that we're telling, right? They don't want this out in written form because it makes them look bad. And so 6 months they've been sitting on it.
But there's nothing classified in the book, correct?
Unless they don't want me talking about something that they don't want me talking about.
So what if you were to write a book on, I don't know, fixing up your...
Have to submit it.
1950s truck.
Have to submit it. Based off how they've come after me, I wouldn't dare not get it submitted. Think of all the drama I've been through because my book did not get submitted. So I'm not about to submit another book or to publisher without getting it reviewed. Well, But now they're sitting on this. Why would they sit on this? It's not because it's leaking tactics, techniques, and procedures. It's because it's exposing their hypocrisy, and they don't want it, right? They don't want the story of
So how would they
McRaven
come after
getting
you?
out.
How would they come after you if there's no?
They just won't review the book. They'll just sit on it, let it die. And they know I owe payments every month. And if I miss one payment, they've told me to my face, they'll come back and charge me back interest and fuck me.
What could they get you on if you bypass that?
I have no idea.
Could they get you on anything?
If they
I mean,
could-
I know they can fucking
if
get
they
you.
could get me on something, they would have.
Yeah.
If they could have got me on something, they tried for 4 years straight to get me on anything, and the only thing they could do was break me financially. And so I've got to this point, and now I'm like, okay, I'm telling the story. Nobody's going to believe it. I've shut up. I've fought my battles with the government. I fought the legal battles. I thought the Justice Department was going to be just. It's not. I've waited 12 years now for some sort of adult supervision to step in and be like, hey, this is fucked up. We need to fix this. Now I will say we may have some potential good momentum. Literally last week, my attorney got a call, and there's some potential that this administration is getting involved, and hopefully, I don't want to think too optimistic because I've been shot in the face every time an opportunity comes up, but there is an opportunity that the current administration is getting involved and going to help fix this. So we'll see.
Well,
But I'll believe it when I see it.
yeah, that would be great. Let's bring on our attorney and see if we need to clean anything up here.
Great idea.
Cool. Tim Parlatore.
How are you, sir?
It's always good to see you.
You too.
Man, so are you representing Matt?
So I have represented Matt for a number of years, and I want to be clear. Yeah, I'm here to talk about his case. I don't represent him on his current dealings with the department, and that's a decision that we made because as he goes, to try and negotiate a better deal with the department, it made sense for me to take a step away from it because since I also, have represented the secretary, we want the decision to be made based on the merits as opposed to having anybody sit there and say, oh, well, they just made a decision based on how his lawyer is also the secretary's lawyer. So for that reason, I've stepped away from that piece of it. However, look, I maintain long relationships with all of my clients. So, I consider Matt a friend and a client, and anything he needs, I would help him with.
I mean, Tim, we met under similar circumstances here. So we met through the Dallas Alexander, the Canadian sniper, when they came at me saying that, oh, there's all this classified material in there. And then we found out what it really was is they're fucking humiliated because they fired one of their legendary snipers over a COVID vaccine and not wearing a mask.
Right.
And they didn't want that out there. So we gave them, very politely gave them the finger and said, fuck you. The episode's going back up.
You were very polite about it, though.
But the shit just keeps happening, and Matt was actually, I think, the first person that I've heard about this shit happening to. Mm-hmm. Now it's happening again, obviously, with a new book. But, look, I mean, we've just seen so much corruption from the government, you know what I mean? I was going to bring up Eddie Gallagher and the Blackwater guys and Brad Geary, but I think those fall under, different circumstances, all just as, probably even more fucked up than this. But it's the shit. It's Dallas Alexander. I mean, a couple weeks ago, we had a couple of Delta guys reach out, wanting their episode pulled because Delta made a statement basically scaring the shit out of all their guys. Oh, you can't go on here. We're going to fucking come after you legally. And I had to tell them, I'm fucking tired of playing this game.
Yeah.
I am fucking tired of this shit of playing this game, and they're freaking these guys out. They're not allowed to talk about, they think they're not allowed to talk about their own fucking life, and and I'm not pulling it.